You know say. Hey Instagram, welcome to Real Life Cooking with Chefleen, special Valentine's Day episode. There we go. All right, making sure everyone can see. Hey Facebook, welcome to our date night episode with Christopher Coy, sports agent and boyfriend. Hey Tyrone Hooper, welcome. All right, let's see if everyone can see us. Welcome.
I don't know if I like this hat.
Yes, we have the true chef in the house today, Chris Coy, my boyfriend and chef extraordinaire. And today on Real Life Cooking. Real Life Cooking is all about making meals that are easy for you from start to finish. We make a meal from start to finish in the comfort of our home. Show you how easy it is to cook. This episode's really great. Guys, if you don't have a plan for Valentine's Day tomorrow, shame on you. But you can make this meal. It literally takes 10 ingredients. I didn't count exactly. So today we're going to be making a surf and turf menu. If you have any questions along the way about me, Chris, life as a sports agent. What part do you talk?
Oh, good.
I was, just doing the introduction, but would you like to do that?
No.
Okay. All right. If you have any questions along the way, please drop them in the box below. And our guru, our technological guru, TT Lyle, will take over them.
What do they think of my outfit? You guys like the hat?
And any comments, TT will relay them to us. So, yes. All right, so today we're making surf and turf. We are making steak and shrimp and asparagus. And we're going to turn store-bought cheesecake into something amazing with just a few small ingredients. Now, what are we starting with?
Steak.
Yes, we are going to start with the steak. So if you could grab the steak. Those are shrimp. Here we have the steak. I'm going to grab you a plate.
I'm new to this. Hey, yes.
All right. So we are going to start with our steak. We are making New York strip steak, which is my favorite cut of steak. Actually, that's a lie. I just like all steak. But New York strip steak is one of my favorites. I love ribeye steak because it has more fat in it. If you see this piece of steak right here, New York strip. Now we splurged on this tonight because we're saving money actually by making this at home. But if you got a steak like this in a restaurant, how much does it cost? Chris goes to a lot of steak restaurants.
$70.
$70. So
55.
So this steak was $30 today at Cinderella. As you can see, it's nice and thick cut. That's exactly what you want to look for.
So that means we don't have to do Valentine's Day tomorrow?
No, yes, Valentine's Day is still on and cracking. Christopher, this is not your out of Valentine's Day.
Sounds good.
So New York strip steak, we have an inch thick right here. And all we're going to do is, come on, you can't let your curls fly through the kitchen. We don't want hair in our food.
So, sorry.
All right, to make our New York strip steak, all we need to do is start heating a pan, super hot. Super hot. Like, we're going to start heating the pan as I continue to talk about it. Okay. The heaviest bottom pan you have, cast iron is great. We're using a non-stick skillet, but it's what is this called? Oh, a scan pan. I really love that pan because it's easy to clean. No, you're going to do the work.
Oh, okay.
All right, so all we're going to do is salt our steak. And Christopher has watched me do this.
Christopher has not washed his hands, so let him wash his hands.
Christopher's going to wash his hands. Thank God, because you just blew your nose. Awesome. So, yeah, all we're going to do is salt our steak. We have our pan heating super hot. Like, all you need when you're cooking a good quality steak
when you wash your hands, you want to wash the front and the back side of your hands.
Yes, make sure you get all those crevices. He was riding city bikes today. Never know what's on those bikes over there. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop in the box below. I don't know, maybe they have some concerns about you washing your hands.
I have a concern.
TT has a concern about washing your hands. Drop them in the box below, and TT will relay them to us. This show is all about teaching you how to cook, and hopefully you can do this for your partner tomorrow. Or yourself. Treat yourself if you don't have a boo. Treat me, Kiana. Shout out to our Valentine's Day a million years ago. 3 years in a row where we treated ourselves. All right, so all we're going to do to this New York strip steak is salt it. So I'm going to go ahead and let Chris salt the steak. Now, when you cook steak at home, go ahead. You can talk. You can do it while I talk.
How much salt?
How much salt?
Just like this?
No. When we salt steak, we want to salt it heavily.
Oh.
Like, coat your steak. This is nice kosher.
Do it.
No, that's... Oh, you want to keep doing it?
Yeah.
Okay. No, more on that side. When you salt your steak, you want to salt it really heavily. This is the only ingredient we're going to be using for this steak. Now, why we can get away with this is because it's very good quality steak.
Yeah.
Yeah, more.
Oh, more.
Yes. And it's the only seasoning element on this. Now, also, we've left our steak out for 30 minutes at room temperature because that's going to help it be more tender. New York strip steak is very tender with not a lot of fat in it. And by leaving it out at room temperature, when it hits that hot pan, those proteins are not going to tighten as if it was freezing cold. It will like tighten, cut them loose. Remember? Cut them loose. All right, so you want to flip it to the other side.
Okay.
And season it just the same on that side.
All right. The same.
That's not the same.
With more.
That's like this.
Come on, man.
Salt it.
High blood pressure.
You won't get high blood pressure. Literally, this is the only, again, I'm going to say this again. A lot of people like to season their steak with pepper, but yeah. A lot of people like to season their steak with pepper, but you don't want to do that because pepper can actually, what is happening?
I was going to get pepper.
No, we don't want to season it with pepper because we're using such a hot pan that pepper will burn.
Yes.
Okay, so just a little bit more salt. Everyone's like going crazy, probably like, oh my god, high blood pressure. But Chris will attest, I probably make the best steak ever. Do you have a question?
I will attest.
Oh, TT Lyle also attest.
It does make a great test to a steak.
All right, now, if you want to step to the side, we're going to put a little bit of oil. High heat oil is best. This is some bootleg olive oil, so it's high heat. Olive oil, like enough to coat the pan. You see the pan is smoking. Well, you guys not be able to see it, but our pan is smoking. Yep. Just coat our pan. I said a high heat oil. High heat oil is canola oil, grapeseed oil, bootleg olive oil. Green olive oil is not, you don't want to use your expensive olive oil because it's just going to burn. Bootleg olive oil is like anything that doesn't have a date on it. So olive oil is like a live living thing, but these bootleg olive oils, like the giant one you get from Costco, sorry, I don't want to bust this company out, but the giant olive oils you get are not going to be artisanal. They're not like cold pressed. They're just not real olive. You know, olive oil is real olive juice from olives. Like they press like wine.
So I use olive oil hair lotion on my hair. Do I use a real one or a fake one?
You probably use a fake one.
The one in the green one?
All right. Well, we don't want to catch our house on fire, so let's go ahead and put our steak in.
Okay.
You wanna? I will grab it from right there.
Oh, thing.
Yep. And then be very careful.
Okay.
It's gonna sizzle at you. Don't drop it though. And that is exactly the sound you want to hear. You see all this smoke? That is a really good thing. At my old apartment, the smoke alarm would always go off. This apartment, we have a lot of windows. Actually, speaking of that, I'm going to close this window. Is this as high as it can go? Because what we are trying to do here with our New York strip steak is get a nice crust on the bottom. The salt is going to help with that crust, and the heat is going to help with the crust. We're creating a Maillard reaction, and that is going to make it nice and brown is flavor. So we don't, now that we put it down, we don't want to touch it for at least 2 to 3 minutes. Also, we have our oven on because we're going to, do you know what we're going to do to the steak when we flip it over?
Put it in the oven.
Yes, we're going to finish it in the oven because that is going to ensure more, why are you scared of the camera?
Oh, no.
Oh, he's just watching,
Sorry, I'm getting used to this and getting comfortable.
So we're going to put it in the oven because the oven has more surrounding heat, more even heat than the pan. The pan is just getting direct heat from the bottom. We're going to need our tongs here, so we'll leave that there. And while our steak is smoking away back here, I'll keep an eye on it. I'm going to hand Chris these strawberries to start washing. Or not washing, to start cutting. Yes. So we're actually gonna move on to dessert while our steak is starting to sear, because we want, yes. We need to start reducing our sauce.
I need specific directions.
All right, so this is going to be for our store-bought cheesecake that we're making a peppered red wine strawberry sauce. Yeah. We'll get to that later.
Oh, okay.
All right, so you can cut your strawberries however you want, however you think will make your cheesecake look pretty. You can slice them. And also, you don't need a giant knife necessarily to cut strawberries because they're pretty soft. What you're going to want to do is go ahead and just take off the tops. And I would take off all the tops first, and then you can cut them into quarters like this.
You cut them.
You are. I'm giving examples. Sheesh.
Sorry.
All right.
So like this?
And
cool.
Or you could slice them however you want.
Ooh,
you get to be in charge.
That's when I like it.
All right, our steak has been cooking for about 2 minutes. It's getting nice and smoky in here.
Fastest 2 minutes ever.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're on TV. That's what we're on TV, not the internet here, people. We are on TV. We're very important. All right, right, our steak has been cooking for 2 minutes. So I want to show you guys. You see that color? Ooh, beautiful. This is amazing. This is exactly what we're looking for. I'm actually going to let it go another minute or so before I flip it over. Because the more color and crispiness, the more delicious it's going to be. So while Chris cuts our strawberries.
How many strawberries am I cutting?
Cut all of them because you'll probably eat a few along the way.
That's cool.
I'm going to talk about our red wine sauce. So this is something super easy you can do to pair with any dessert. Pound cake, cheesecake, regular cake, store-bought cake. Just makes a nice ice cream even. You can put on top of ice cream. All you need is red wine.
Cheap red wine.
And sugar. And you're going to put 2 parts red wine to 1 part sugar. And then you're just going to boil it until it becomes nice and syrupy. Now, what kind of red wine are we using? This leftover, everything is bootleg today. See, you don't have to be expensive to make good food. We have some bootlegger wine, bootlegger olive oil. This is Barefoot Sweet Red Blend. Actually, because it is a dessert, a sweet blend will be good because dessert is sweet, obviously. Let me just flip my steak back here. Oh, this color, I just have to show you guys this color. This is exactly what you are looking for when you are making steak.
I did that. Yeah. No, don't burn.
Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please drop them in the box. Chris is actually a sports agent, and he can answer all your sports-related questions.
As it relates to football.
How did you two meet?
How?
Ooh, let's tell that story.
Oh, yes, on our...
Chefleen stalked me on social media.
Whoa. That is a lie. Sorry, the lie detector test has determined that is a lie. So, Chris and I met in 2017 in New Orleans at Essence Fest.
Yes.
At my best friend's bachelorette party, Stephanie's bachelorette party.
Yep.
And basically, he picked me up at a bar, as my grandma said, a pickup.
No.
He came up to me and he was like, "Baby, you're so beautiful."
No.
He was so suave and amazing and was like, "Oh my God."
That's a lie.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey,
No.
spill your shot. You want another one?" And I was like, "Sure."
Now you got ready for the truth?
Yes. What is the truth?
It'll come out in my book one day.
Whatever.
I can tell you.
So anyway, we met. And then it was super hot in the bar, so we went out inside to talk because he was like so cute. So I was like, "Oh, I'll go separate myself from my friends and talk to you, handsome young fella." And then we went outside and talking, and then Mariah Carey came on, and I was like, "Oh my God, we have to dance!" And I grabbed him and I brought him inside, and he was like, "I don't really dance," and I was like, "Me either!"
Yeah, she dances like a white woman.
Hey, there's a lot of white women that can dance very, very well.
But there's a lot of them that can't dance at all. But I can't dance either, so it worked out well.
So it worked out well, and ever since then,
Yeah.
we've been together, basically.
No,
Except for I
she
left
left him on a ship. She went on a ship for 5 months. But this isn't what this is talking. This is what we came to talk about. Yeah, she left him and went on a ship. You're gonna go in here?
Not yet. So actually, you can put these strawberries to the side because we don't want to overcook our strawberries.
Okay.
And what we're gonna do, I have about 2 cups of red wine in here, and we're gonna put a cup of sugar inside. I'll let you do the measuring.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Yes. Shout out to the Yes for the cups.
There you go.
No, there's.
Everything.
So I'm gonna get this started back here. I'm also gonna check our steak and bring it over to you guys.
Yeah, there you go.
This is exactly what we are looking for. Yay! Again, if you guys have any questions, 1 cup.
Oh,
1.5, because you like things extra sweet.
that's true.
And then just go ahead and put it on the flame back there. Now, we are going to
Put it in the flame back here.
put our steak. It is like super smoky in here, but that means we're doing everything right. Everything right. All right, we're gonna put our steak on a aluminum foil baking sheet, and I'll let you put that in the oven.
Okay.
Why aluminum foil? Because who wants to do dishes. I'm like trying to. It doesn't really matter, you know.
It matters when it goes to slide.
Oh, see, then he gets all OCD. He thinks he's really running the kitchen over here.
You notice the chef jacket right there.
Chef Jack, question.
Question: who's the better cook?
Me? What do you mean? Whatever does that mean? I'm definitely better at breakfast. Her eggs are terrible.
What?
She didn't cook great eggs. First time she made me food, it was eggs, and it was terrible. So ever since then, I've been cooking the eggs around
They
this
can't
place.
hear you. My eggs are amazing, and I make everything great. That's what he just said.
That's not what I said. The first thing she ever cooked for me was eggs, and then they were terrible. And on her defense, she might have been a little hungover, but ever since then, I've been cooking all the eggs. So
Yes, he does
I'm
make
the better
wonderful
chef.
breakfast. Bacon and eggs are his thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
And
we're gonna move-
cereal. I'm a great pourer
And
of cereal.
All right, so now we are going to move on to our shrimp. We have a ton of salt on this cutting board, so let's wipe that off.
That's probably sugar.
No, it's salt. I tasted it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I added a little extra sugar.
Chris thinks he knows everything. That he's like, that's definitely
This
this.
is not the Valentine's Day argument. I do know everything.
Question.
What temperature should the oven be set to for the steak?
That's a great question. So right now I have my oven at like 400, and I'm just like doing it by time because you saw our steak was super thick. It was about an inch thick. I'm gonna check it in about 5 minutes because I like medium. What is it?
Forgot the whole bit.
Oh my gosh. I like medium rare steak. So we're gonna actually temp it when it comes out after about 5 minutes. And what temperatures are we looking for steak?
150.
No, that would be well done, and we couldn't
no.
be dating if that's how you liked your steak.
110? I don't know.
110?
Lies. I don't know. Oh, 125 for rare. Sorry, I didn't see the big fella in front of me. 135 for medium rare, 145 for medium, and 155 for medium well.
And anything else?
Is blah.
Yeah, we don't really want
do
to.
that.
It actually is scientifically proven. I'm sorry if you like your steak well, but it doesn't actually digest in your body as
I said
well.
150.
150,
Yeah, that's like medium.
medium well, yeah.
That was good. You don't have to.
Close, but we're actually going to use a
110,
thermometer to
110.
temp it. And I suggest if you eat a lot of steak that you definitely invest in a thermometer. My personal favorite is this one right here. It's called a Thermapen because it just makes your life so much easier. But there's a lot cheaper one. This is about $100. There's cheaper ones on the market, so you don't have to have a Thermapen. All right, so moving on, we're gonna make our shrimp. So we're making surf and turf. So we're gonna have our steak at the bottom, and then we are gonna basically top it with kind of like a sauce of shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of searing these shrimp, we're actually gonna make another one of Chris's specialties, which is steamed shrimp with
Yes.
hella butter.
Which is my specialty.
So I'm gonna let you take over and let people know what to do.
Oh, hell no. I don't know how to cook it. I don't know how to tell people how I'm cooking it while I'm cooking it. So I'm going to let you do that, and I'm just
Okay.
going to watch and eat.
So basically, where's the garlic at that you bought? I'm gonna move this to the back burner,
This is it.
and hopefully it reduces down quick enough. And I'm gonna turn our shrimp onto here. We're gonna put a little bit of water in this pan, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And then we are going to use a bit of garlic, 2 cloves of garlic here. And we are going, this is your preference. So you can slice up your garlic however you want, or prepare your garlic however you want. I'll show you 2 different ways. I find the easiest way to remove the garlic from its shell is just to cut off the top and bottom, and it normally comes all the way off. Now, would we ever want to use already made garlic here?
No.
No, exactly. Why not?
Because we just don't do that.
We just because garlic has a property called allicin in it, and
Of course, I knew that.
Of course, allicin. And allicin, the longer it sits, the stronger it gets. So the product in those jars that's already chopped up is not. It doesn't taste anything like fresh garlic. It's going to be very strong. If you notice, sometimes you'll have heartburn after you eat that. It's because the property of the allicin inside there. It's not real garlic product. If you are in a pinch. Oh, we did have garlic in the fridge. If you are in a pinch, you can get the already peeled garlic, but also that normally is a little stronger than if you just use fresh garlic as well. So there's 2 different ways that you can do this.
Justin
Yeah.
said, look
You
at Chris
can
trying to go
slice-
mess anything up. I'm not going to mess anything up, Justin. I read your comment.
You can just slice your garlic, and when you slice something, you want to hold your knife right here at the base of it, wrap your hand around it, and rotate your knife up and down just like this. You don't want to chop, you don't want to hack. I'll let you go like that.
Oh, hell no.
Come on, just slice the garlic.
Do?
You didn't just hear my instructions.
No, I wasn't. So I'm doing.
All right, so keep your fingers out of the way. And then you're just gonna slice.
Oh, wait.
And then see how it got.
See, I skipped.
It got a little narrow here, so now we're just gonna turn it on its flatter edge, so it'll be easier for you to slice it.
I skipped a little bit of the school for chefs.
And you want to rock the knife. Yeah, pretty good. Okay, yep. And then the other way, if you want stronger garlic flavor, is you're gonna go ahead and use your microplane.
And you microplane the
And you microplane it, yes.
You just go like
Just
this.
watch your fingers. You don't want grated finger in the shrimp.
So when you feel the part of that, you let your fingers off of it?
Yeah, we'd rather keep your fingers than use all of the garlic.
All right. There's a little.
And then how do we get it out of the rasp grater?
We use a knife.
We tap.
Oh, we tap.
Yep. So, normally real life cooking is on Sundays, and in Chris's defense, he hasn't learned all the tips and techniques because he's been watching football, right? Doing your job.
For sure.
Working really hard on Sundays.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so our water is boiling. Let's go ahead and add in our garlic. We're going to steam these shrimp. We're not going to saute them because we want to make a nice buttery, shrimpy sauce to go on top.
I did that right?
Oh, okay. Now that is a good example of how not to use your knife. We have
I went to the Cindy School of Chef. My mama.
We have a nice bench over here that you can transfer things, but we're already done, so it's just all right. We're also gonna add half this stick of butter to the poaching liquid or the steaming liquid.
Okay.
Question.
What are you guys doing for Valentine's?
That's a great question.
It's a surprise.
Surprise.
We're doing this.
We're doing this all over, except for I'm just going to sit at the counter where TT is and watch him cook.
No, I'm definitely not cooking.
Actually, last year, Chris cooked an amazing meal with mussels and steak and lobster and cheesecake.
And asparagus.
Asparagus, yeah. And he made a nice laminated. Yeah, basically, so this is like our Valentine's menu in a sense.
Yeah. And I used all of her recipes. And it tastes really good.
And they were pretty easy, right? You weren't like so stressed
My
out.
homeboy Derek made a menu. And there was a roof at Chris's. It was a great meal.
It was amazing, yeah. So he has a lot to live up to. Good luck.
Yeah, that was year one. Year one, it's kind of like the, you let the hype up. And after that, you just let everything else.
All right.
Year 5, year 10, like the important ones. Year 2, probably going to sit here and watch a movie and, something like that.
I mean, whatever. As long as we're together, it's fine.
That's nice.
Okay, let's season our shrimp. So you're going to want to take the same... Okay, yeah. So I didn't include Old Bay in the list of ingredients, but whenever there's seafood in our house, Old Bay is also in our... Old Bay is like salt in our house, basically. Chris grew up in Maryland, and that is like... I guess it's like the state seasoning of Maryland. Mm-hmm. So when you use Old Bay, do you need to add salt?
Of course. Just a little bit.
All right. So we're going to season our shrimp. We're probably going to add more Old Bay at the end.
For sure.
So Old Bay,
butter sauce.
If you are unfamiliar with it, it is celery salt and then spices.
Mm-hmm. Don't tell the freaking... They don't tell the... You can't
They don't want to tell the secret. No. But obviously there's probably bay leaves ground up in here, like those dried bay leaves.
Don't try to act like you know what there's in Old Bay.
Old Bay, come on. Old bay leaves, like ground up. That's probably the main.
No, it's the Chesapeake Bay.
No bay. No bay. No bay.
I will never be asked to go on this show again.
All right, so spices including red pepper and black pepper. So it has a little bit of a kick to it, but it's not spicy really.
No.
All right, so our butter and water and garlic is back there smelling amazing.
Oh,
so all we're gonna do now, our other fire went out. That's not good. So all we're gonna do now is go ahead and add in our shrimp. And we don't want our butter and water to be super boiling because again, remember that tightening proteins. If you tighten your proteins very quickly, they're gonna get very tough and no one wants to eat tough shrimp. We'll still eat them, but it's not necessarily ideal for you to be eating tough shrimp.
Alright, so what's the best way to put this in there? Like this?
With your hands.
Oh, not like this?
I'll let you figure out, but turn so the people can see you.
Oh, yeah, see? And drop.
Just put them in. And then we're going to lower the heat. You see how our heat is on super high? Actually, I'm going to switch these two burners because I want our red wine sauce to reduce faster. And I want our shrimp to cook at a slower pace. The shrimp are still going to cook relatively fast, maybe 4 to 5 minutes. How do we know when shrimp are cooked? We also want to put a lid on it and spread them around so they're all kind of evenly touching the pan. How do you know when shrimp are cooked? They turn pink, they start to curl, and as soon as they're done cooking, you want to remove them from the heat because if they're sitting in that heat longer, again, they're just going to get tough. All right. So next, we need to move on to our asparagus, our green item of the.
I just add a little asparagus.
Green item.
A little bit. What's the question?
Question. How long do you cook the steak?
How long do we cook the steak? Actually, let's take it out. So it's been in about, I don't know, 7 minutes maybe? 5 minutes? What do you say?
7 minutes.
Can you take it out?
Oh. Yeah, I'll take these.
7 minutes? Oh.
These things work better for me.
So we're actually going to take it out and temp it. I wish I could tell you. Okay, don't hurt yourself. Yeah, close the oven. I wish I could tell you an exact time, but no steak is created equal. Your oven is not created equal, so you really just have to watch it. Okay. When you temp something with a thermometer,
you're not supposed to do it like that.
No, you don't want to do it from the top, because remember we cooked it.
See, I know what you not to do.
Remember,
it was 124, by the way.
Remember we cooked it from the top and the bottom, so that's where all the heat is. So you want to, you want to get it from the side, like right in there. Okay. But yeah.
124.
All right.
So that's rare.
That's rare. So we want to throw it back in.
Do we push the other side?
No, we don't. We want to.
How do we?
We want to prevent. We want to prevent poking as many holes in it as possible, because the more holes you poke in it, the more the juices are going to run through.
Oh my gosh! See, but if you would have said this, we would have caught all the juices on the foil.
Well, the juices shouldn't be running out of your steak anyway. All right, we're going to throw it back in the oven. So it's been about 7 minutes. I feel like it'll probably be at least another 5 to get a nice medium rare medium on it. Medium. All right, so next we're going to do our asparagus. Asparagus are actually. Oh yeah, yes, but we're gonna blanch them first.
Oh, I'm learning how to blanch today. I'm teaching you guys how to blanch. I know how to blanch.
All right, asparagus are a nice spring vegetable, typically.
Don't you cut off this part?
Yes, you want to cut off the end.
All I want?
Almost even further, a little bit more than like an inch.
While it's already in its thing?
Right now, yeah.
Oh.
And why do we want to cut off that part? Because asparagus.
That's the part that makes your pea stink, right?
No. All asparagus make your pea stink.
Oh.
They're not actually a romantic vegetable, although they are on the list of aphrodisiacs. If you ever looked up aphrodisiac foods, because
strawberries. Ooh.
In the 19th century, yes, strawberries as well. In the 19th century, this man named Nicholas Culpeper said it stirs up lust in a man and a woman. And before people will get married, they would have actually 3 courses of asparagus.
How do you know all these random facts?
You know, I read a lot. That's how I know. I know everything, right?
Oh.
Of course, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so our asparagus, when you are buying asparagus, it's not quite asparagus season. Asparagus season is actually like more April.
So why did you suggest asparagus yesterday? You're like, no, babe, we gotta have asparagus.
Because we live in America and we are spoiled and able to get all vegetables all year round. And asparagus, because they have the aphrodisiac, there's like some little woodsy fibers. They are aphrodisiac. It was also suggested that asparagus are aphrodisiac because they look like something. I don't know what. But when you skinny weenies, yes. All right. So our asparagus, when you're looking for asparagus, you want to either find ones that are very thin, like this, or a little bit thicker, not the really ones in between. And you want to make sure that they are.
How in the hell do I know which one is really thin, which one's like?
No, these are all pretty thin. These are thin asparagus. They won't take very long at all to cook.
Oh, okay.
But you know, there's some that are like
really thick.
Chunky.
Yeah, like the ones we had on Sunday.
Exactly.
Oh, Titi had a question.
Question.
I did.
Oh, you forgot.
Oh, what is the season for asparagus? You never finished.
Oh, spring. So end of March, April, around Easter. I remember asparagus. We always ate them on Easter at my house. But that's when they're like the freshest, the best. Like I said, Americans were really spoiled. We get to eat things all year round. But it is important to be cognizant of when you're going to eat the things when they'll be at their best. Which for asparagus would be March, April to like mid-July or so.
Oh, okay. Next month,
asparagus are also really good. So right now what we're going to do is blanch asparagus. You know what blanching is?
Of course I do, but I'm gonna let you talk about it.
Okay, so blanching is we're gonna boil some water, salt it, and then just drop our asparagus in really quick. Nope, I haven't salted it.
Okay.
Let's see if he has learned how to salt.
Oh yeah, a lot.
We want to put a lot of salt because this is our first layer of flavor for our asparagus, and your asparagus are not gonna absorb all this salt. They're just gonna absorb a little bit, and it's gonna add to their flavor. Asparagus are also really great because they are great for digestion because they have a lot of fiber. They can actually decrease depression because they have folate in them. And they come in 3 different varieties.
What's that?
They are green. You see these regular green ones. There's purple ones that they actually sell.
Yeah, there were some purple ones there. I decided not to get those.
And there are white asparagus, which are the trickiest to cook because they're a little bit bitter.
Of course they're trickiest to cook.
They are the trickiest. They are the trickiest to cook. And instead of blanching them because they're a little bitter in salted water, you actually want to blanch those in sugar water. In sugar water.
All right, cool.
So
you ready?
Yes, our water is boiling.
All at once?
Yes, all in there. And we're only going to leave them in there for a couple of seconds. Yeah, move them around. Now, you could normally use this in a big pot, but I just have this small little pan and it works just the same. Less wasted water. And then we're actually going to roast our shrimp are back here boiling away. We don't want them at a high heat.
Oh.
Slow. So we're actually going to roast these asparagus when they're done. Not yet. So I'm going to take another aluminum pan. Yep, and line it with aluminum. And our asparagus are already done now.
Why don't you cover it?
Can you turn that fire, please?
Which one? This one?
The one with the red line.
Oh, turn it off. Oh.
Turn it on.
There you go. All right,
So
and you're out there. What are you doing over there?
I'm pouring out the water from our asparagus.
Okay.
Now you might ask, why would you blanch something? You want to keep it nice and green.
That's the question.
Nice and green.
Wow, this says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, our Facebook seems to have timed out. What's that?
Facebook?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Sitting.
it's gone.
Oh, there it is.
No, this is live.
Oh.
How do you go live again? Oh, from here? Oh, that's...
Start live video.
Is that...
No, at the
that's
bottom.
from Chefleen?
Start at the bottom.
Where?
Sorry, Instagram. We're in the middle of cooking and our Facebook live stream just turned out.
From there?
Just right there. Start live video.
Oh, from like Chefleen. Okay, cool.
Welcome back, Facebook. Sorry we lost you there for a second. We just finished blanching our asparagus. We put them in salted water, took them out. Now we're going to toss them in some olive oil. Careful, it's going to be hot for you. So you want to pour some olive oil on there.
You want to line them up?
You don't really have to, but if it makes you feel better, you can.
It does. All right, so how much olive oil? Decent amount?
That's good. That's good. That's good.
That's enough?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
And then a little bit of salt.
Okay. Like a lot of salt like you did last time?
Not like as much as our steak, but a little bit more than that.
Okay.
But you can always re-season it at the end when we taste them at the end. You also, now that we put this olive oil, I know the asparagus are a little hot.
Done?
We're going to check it when we put these in.
Oh, steak wasn't done?
No, we're going to roll them around in this olive oil. Because if the olive oil is not touching the asparagus,
yes,
then it's not going to get brown and crispy like we want. And I just messed up all your neat little rows. But it's okay. They'll still cook and roast the same. The only thing to keep in mind when you're roasting vegetables is to not overcrowd your pan, because if they're overcrowded, they're actually going to steam and not cook properly.
A little overcrowded?
It is a little overcrowded, but it'll be all right. I mean, if you want to make superior, that's how many I would take off.
No, come on, just cook them all.
He's like, no, I'm hungry. Let's cook them all.
Yes.
All right. So go ahead and throw those out and take our steak out, so we can check that.
Throw those in?
Yep, throw those in, take the steak out.
Okay.
And we're going to temp our steak once again. Ta-da! Ooh. All right, that's great. 155, so that is a medium well we have going. Now, what are we going to do with the steak now that it's out of the oven?
We're going to let it rest.
Let it rest, exactly. Because we don't want to cut into it all the juices. You can just put it back on the stove to rest. We don't want all those juices that we just got inside of there to just release out all over, and it'll make for better presentation. It'll be nice and juicy, nice and tender. So we're gonna let that rest. Now we are gonna pull over our shrimp.
Move this.
No, you can leave it. Our shrimp are also cooked now. Let's put that down. So, so if you want to go ahead and taste those.
It's gonna be hot.
Yeah.
Can we tempt these?
No, you don't tempt shrimp. Tempt shrimp.
Hot.
Hot, yes.
Ooh.
So what do you think it needs?
Ice.
Ice.
No. I need a little more Old Bay. Some salt.
Some salt and Old Bay.
Yeah, we didn't have.
And we also, I asked you guys to get a lemon. We apparently don't have a lemon. We're gonna use a lime just for a little bit of acid inside of there.
Oh.
I'm gonna taste it too. As I taste this, can you chop up this parsley?
No, not like you. I'm sure you could do a little bit better because you could like this.
Alright, so I will show you guys how to chop your herbs. Now parsley, people think of parsley as just a garnish, just something green. Obviously it does add the color, so it makes it a little bit prettier because we have like the dark steak, the pink shrimp. But the parsley is also going to add a nice freshness. Like we have a ton of butter in here.
Thanks, Kavan.
A ton of butter and a ton of Old Bay, which are very heavy. And the lime and the parsley are really going to lighten that up. So when you are chopping parsley, you want to kind of just roll it all into a ball and then just run your knife through it as thin as possible. So then you don't have to keep hacking at it later. Mm-hmm. So now it's already pretty small. I'm just going to run my knife through it one more time.
Yeah,
or actually a few more times.
Than everybody else, I know.
Well, I've been doing this for 9 years now. In culinary school, you used to have to cut like so much stuff. Like you take home a bag of potatoes and have to cut them and cut them and cut them.
Yeah, I didn't go there. They let me go to the Wednesday graduation.
All right, we're gonna add that into our shrimp.
Okay.
And also we're gonna add in a bit of lemon juice. I told you guys to get a lemon. Lime works too. It's just that acid that you need. So we're gonna go ahead and cut it into thirds, just like this. And then we're gonna squeeze a little bit of that lemon in there, lime in there.
It's on there.
It's just not coming up over here.
All right. Let's go ahead and mix this around. I lost my helper over here.
Oh, sorry.
And now we're gonna take. Oh, you said it needed more Old Bay, right? Did you add that in?
No, I didn't.
Now, if you notice, I don't give you like exact measurements because when you're cooking, you should be cooking for your taste. In this case, on a date night, it's great to cook together with someone because it's more fun and you get to like decide between their two tastes because everyone's tastes are completely different. You get to decide between the two of you what you guys like together. So I've definitely come to like Old Bay, being with Christopher, and butter a lot. Okay.
That's good.
Now it is perfect. So just leave our shrimp to the side. Now, off the heat because we don't want to overcook them again. And while our steak is resting, our red wine sauce is reducing. Actually, our red wine sauce is starting to reduce. Now halfway through this, we're gonna add in our strawberries. So our strawberries, we're gonna add in about half of our strawberries. We're gonna leave some of them fresh.
What does reduction look like?
When something reduces, you are evaporating the liquid and it's concentrating in flavor. And because we added sugar, it's gonna get more syrupy. So it'll get thicker.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So basically when it gets thicker.
Yep.
So all that, you can say when it got thicker.
Yes, but you can add in the strawberries now. Or half of them. Add in half of the strawberries. So essentially we're kind of making like a red wine strawberry jam. And then we're gonna leave some of the strawberries fresh so we have that what is the word I'm looking for? Difference?
Contrast.
Contrast, yes, exactly.
Oh, compare and contrast.
Compare and contrast. Alright, so if you're just joining us, welcome to Real Life Cooking on a special night, date night. We have Chris Coy here helping me out in the kitchen. Chef extraordinaire. We are making surf and turf. Our New York strip is perfectly cooked at a nice medium well. It is resting back there so the juices don't fly everywhere. We have our red wine sauce that is reducing. We just added our strawberries in. And we have our shrimp that are cooked and just chilling and waiting for us to plate our meal.
We also got our asparagus in the oven.
And and we have our asparagus that we blanched.
And now we're gonna do our dessert.
And we roast. And now we're gonna do our dessert.
Oh.
So I made your guys' life simple. Whenever you're cooking for someone else, you want to make it as easy as possible because you don't want to be stressed out, running all over the kitchen, stressed out. How was it cooking last year for me?
What?
Were you stressed out?
No.
You don't want to be sweating. Like, it's all about the whole experience. So if you're cooking for someone and they come in the house and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is so hard. It kind of takes away from the experience. You want to make it seem seamless. So on that aspect, we're going to use a ready-made cheesecake, but we're adding our delicious strawberry sauce, which is going to make it special.
What?
So
I can't get the I can't get the Facebook feedback.
So we are using the
cheesecake.
same cheesecake that Chris served me last year.
No, it wasn't this one.
It wasn't? I thought you got a Whole Foods cheesecake.
It was, but it was all flat, and it was different.
Oh, well, he said Whole Foods cheesecake is the best, so I'm going to trust him.
Well, this one looks good, but
Unfortunately, when Chris was riding his city bike home, it ended up in a little bit of a disaster. I'll just bring this a little closer to you guys.
I'm going to zoom in on my disaster.
Well, it's not your disaster. This could happen to anyone in real life, right?
Oh, yeah, real life cooking.
So what we're going to do to save this, we're actually going to take off the strawberries. We don't need them. I mean, we can eat them. Yeah, we can eat them. So if this happens to you, if you happen to be riding a city bike home with a cheesecake, you can always cut it into a beautiful presentation for yourself. I actually have these nice little cutters, but you can also just use a knife and cut it into shapes, like square shapes, just more neater shapes for you. So we're gonna use this. We're gonna use this circle cutter and press it down.
Okay.
Let's see if this works.
Where did it get?
Let's get a plate.
What should I do with this cheese?
So I just used the circle cutter. Any cookie cutter actually would work for this. We're gonna push it down, being as careful as possible to not break it. But it's okay because we're gonna top it with our strawberry sauce, so it does not have to be exactly perfect.
Tastes pretty good already.
That side, that looks pretty good. We're saving it. Another tip if you're cutting a lot of cheesecake is to go ahead and run this in warm water. That's also a great tip if you are cutting like a cake, a birthday cake. Having some warm water on hand will make your life a lot easier. Now, because this cheesecake was pretty expensive, of course we're not gonna waste this. We're gonna just eat it like cheesecake monsters later.
Yeah, with both hands.
Both hands. Ah. So you just need to like finesse it just a little bit.
Oh, hey.
Our red wine sauce is going crazy back there. So again, we are definitely not throwing this away. TT's like, let me have it. I'm just gonna rinse off my hands back here.
So what happens now? Is this one that comes?
Turn it off. Show the people what it looks like. Careful, don't spill it.
People.
Hey people. Like. So our red wine sauce is reducing. It's getting nice and thick.
Oh.
We have our cheesecake.
See, it's reducing. It's getting nice and...
It smells even like reduced, if that makes sense. Probably not. But it smells deeper in flavor. As something reduces...
It's a little more. It maybe a little more.
A little bit more, yeah. As something reduces, it concentrates in flavor, so it's going to be really nice and sweet and strong in flavor. All right, I'm just going to kind of clean this up a little bit.
Okay.
All right. We're going to turn this down. Let's check our asparagus. Our asparagus aren't quite done yet. I think our sauce is actually pretty good. So what we're going to do to cool this sauce down very quickly is actually make an ice bath with our one piece of ice. Let's go ahead and clean up this plate here. All right, let's get one of these bowls. Actually, 2 bowls. So you need 2 bowls. Shout out to TT Wild for these mixing bowls we have here. We're going to put 1 bowl on the bottom with ice.
How much ice? All of it?
That's good. We're going to put ice and a little bit of water. Excuse me. And then we're going to pour our strawberry sauce that we've reduced. into the bowl on top. As you can see, look, it's thicker. It looks like syrup, right?
Yeah.
And the cooler it gets, the
right.
more thick it's gonna be.
It does look like syrup.
It looks so beautiful. This is also very dangerous. Sugar is like gets so hot, so you don't want to touch anyone with this.
Okay.
And we're gonna put our syrup. You need a little bit more water.
Oh, okay.
Because you want the water to be able to touch the bottom of the bowl.
Oh.
As it touches the bottom of the bowl, we're gonna stir around our strawberry sauce. And as we stir it around, it's actually gonna help cool down. I mean, restaurants, they do this a lot, like when they're making soups or stocks or things that need to be cooled down quickly.
What do they call this?
This is an ice bath.
Oh.
Well, actually, I think this is called bain-marie. Dang, I forgot my culinary term for this.
Let's call it ice bath.
It's called the ice bath.
Ice bath.
So basically, we're just gonna stir it around, and as it stirs around, the surface area of the outside bowl is touching the cold water, and it's gonna get thicker. I mean, it's gonna get cooler faster. Because we don't want to pour, cheesecake is cold, obviously. We don't want to pour this super hot sauce over the cheesecake. It'll just make it look disgusting.
This is like a science experiment.
Cooking is science. Yep, that's true.
So when do we add the rest of the strawberries?
You can actually start decorating the plate with the strawberries in any old fashion that you'd like.
Oh, why would you do it?
No, go ahead. Cooking is an expression of yourself.
Okay.
Whatever you think looks good, I'm sure the person who loves you will think it looks good too.
So you think this looks good?
Yeah, it looks beautiful. It's not done, right?
Of course.
So I'm just stirring our strawberry sauce so it cools down a little bit. As you can see, it's like way thicker than just your regular red wine. Now, if you over reduce your sauce, it can become too thick, and then it'll be like candy when it starts. When it starts to get cold, it'll like harden up. So you want to make sure that it's the perfect temperature or the perfect consistency. If you have any questions or comments, if this is your first, that looks beautiful. Your first time watching the show, let us know you're here. Let us know what you're thinking. Later this week on Sunday, I'm doing another very special episode with a owner of a jam company, Trade Street Jam Company, Ashley Roos. And we're going to be cooking the jam. So check out how to get that jam if you would like to cook along. And it's the easiest meal ever. Like, literally, it takes one sheet pan. And we're going to be making cocktails with her jam. So make sure you tune in on Sunday at 7.
Oh,
look at this. Look at this. Is looking so beautiful, right?
It is so good. I mean, beautiful.
You want to taste it?
Yeah.
It's not.
You double dipped.
With my finger in your mouth.
That is good.
It is good.
No more dipping. I would like to try some.
No more dipping. All right, this is almost cool enough. I'm just going to let this cool by itself. I don't need to keep stirring while we plate up our dinner. So if you can grab a white plate, we'll plate this up as soon as we're done plating the other. All right, so we have our asparagus. Because our asparagus were a little crowded, we don't have that super roasted color. You can go as dark or as not as you want. One of my aunts really likes like almost burnt roasted vegetables. That again, color is flavor, so that's gonna have the most flavor, the most sugary flavor.
The more you cook them, you cook the nutrients out of them.
Yes, it is true. The more you cook your vegetables, the more you cook your nutrients out. Although roasting is better than like boiling, because as you boil your vegetables, yes.
We have a comment. Chris has been taste testing all the food.
That's what a good sous chef does. He helps you determine what the meal is going to taste like before you even taste it.
That is a good point,
Let's taste it.
That is a good point, though. Whenever you're cooking, even if you're cooking for someone else, you want to constantly taste in a healthful manner, of course. Don't be double dipping and stuff.
None of your viewers are haters.
All right, we are going to go ahead and plate this up. So the other most important thing,
we were doing the steak on the bottom.
Besides flavor, I forgot your vision. The other most important thing.
Let's do 2.
Yeah, we're gonna plate, and then you guys can vote on which is the best.
Okay.
So I'll plate mine because the other thing. Grab a plate.
Oh, but we only got one steak.
We're gonna slice it though.
Oh, okay.
The other most important thing when you're cooking for someone else is how it looks, because literally you eat with your eyes first. That's not just an expression. You eat with your eyes first.
My plate was cool.
So, we're going to slice our steak up. It's been resting. It cooked. It rested. We're going to slice it. Oh, can you move my plate or your plate?
Oh.
One of the two.
Don't need that anymore.
Good thing we have more plates, more sons. Alright. So when you cut your steak, it has these grains in it, these lines running. A New York strip has them running like this, horizontally. So I'm going to cut against those. I want to cut like at an angle against those because that's going to also ensure that my steak is more tender, the most tender it can be. So I'm going to slice it.
We have another comment that Chris wants all the steak for himself.
I do, and I'm going to eat this steak the minute she finishes cutting it.
Taste testing.
And the thinner you cut your steak as well. Now in steakhouses, obviously they don't cut your steak for you. They just give you this big hunk of meat. But here, I think the presentation purposes, it looks really nice sliced up. All right, so we have our sliced steak. And because it rested, the juices are not running around everywhere. And look at this medium rare perfection here we have going on. Amazing. All right, and now we're going to do our plating wars. So you take your plate, I'll take mine.
Okay.
And I'm going to plate some steak.
Why you took all that good steak?
I took all the center steak. All right, I won't take the center steak. I don't want to have advantage or have to hear about an advantage.
I'll take the center steak.
Now, when you make your steak at home, when you learn these techniques.
Oh, I like that idea too.
When you learn these techniques and do this at home, you will really eat better at home for a fraction of the cost. Trust me, you really want. If you eat red meat, you want to learn how to cook a good steak. Don't forget, we have the shrimp.
Oh, no, I don't.
And then I'm gonna take my shrimp. Where it is. Oh, look at this sauce. It looks amazing. We need some bread to like sop this up with. Gluten-free bread, of course.
That's not nasty.
And I'm gonna put my shrimp and just some sauce. Just like that. Here you go. That didn't really work out how I wanted it to. But that's okay, because I can fix it. I'm gonna put that right on like that.
Mine is a soup. Mine is a soup. Oh hell no.
What?
Let me put some.
Oh, that looks good.
Don't put that.
That looks good.
That's cool.
All right. So we have our 2 plates. I need to clean up mine a little bit on the edges.
Mine looks more tasty. Oh no, I need to clean up.
We'll let you guys vote on our plates. We'll take a nice picture at the end.
I need to take a picture of mine.
All right.
Oh man.
Now the final thing that we need to do is plate up our dessert, our store-bought cheesecake with our red wine sauce. You know what we forgot to do to our red wine sauce? We forgot to add our special ingredient, pepper. Pepper may seem like an unusual ingredient to pair with strawberries, but something about the floralness in the pepper really pairs nice and well, and it makes it a little more interesting. And when in a dessert like cheesecake that's super, super sweet, it's like almost coinly sweet, especially if you're store buying it. The pepper...
Coinly?
Coinly.
Oh, coinly. Like
coinly. Yes, like Chris Coy.
Oh. Okay.
Something coinly sweet, the pepper helps counterbalance that. So I'm going to just...
I don't want pepper on my cheesecake.
This is the recipe.
Oh, okay. I don't like the idea of pepper in a cheesecake.
Did you not just hear everything I said about it?
That ain't coinly.
It balances it.
Yeah, I'd like it sweet. No,
it's gonna be sweet. I promise. So this is what happens often in our house.
That's enough pepper.
It hasn't even been coming out. This is like a new one. All right. It happens often in our house. I'll be like, ooh, try this. And I'm like, no. And then he'll taste it like, it's not that bad. So let's just go ahead and drizzle on our sauce. So now we have the balance of the cooked. Oh, doesn't this look amazing? We have some cooked strawberries.
Ooh.
We have
Look
the
at this
fresh
I put together, TT.
strawberries.
Good job.
Mm-hmm.
And it was super easy. We did it under an hour. We did it together. We spent some quality time.
It's been an hour?
Almost an hour.
Time
You can
flies when I'm having fun.
drizzle it around. We can use this later when TT leaves.
Hey, take mine to go.
Hey,
Thank
aphrodisiac.
I'm just kidding.
No, she's not.
Yeah,
all right. Thank you guys so much for joining us on Real Life.
So much for joining us
on Real Life Cooking with Chris Coy.
With Chefleen O'Brien.
Happy Valentine's Day to all of you guys.
Valentine's Day.
Hope you try this recipe. If you do try the recipe, tag us. Let us know how it is. If you have any questions, comments, let me know. And make sure you tune in on Sunday. Thank you for joining me, Christopher.
All right. See you later.
Bye.